What's going on, everyone?
Something's been bothering me for a while.
So I thought I'd finally make a video.
The nightmares people are experiencing with a Floyd Rose bridge. I can't help but overhear some conversations happening in music stores.
Some people are specifically not getting into some sweet instruments.
Ultimately being able to express themselves because they don't know how to set this up properly and don't know how to tune, don't know how to change strings.
Pulling another string to make the flat.
Yeah, I mean,
Make D flat.
yeah. See, that's why I've wanted to trem.
Taking advantage of the trem.
That's why I've wanted to trem for ages. I've got a Floyd, but I haven't changed strings ever since I got it because changing strings on a Floyd Rose is a pain in the ass.
The purpose of the video today is how to set up a Floyd, and we're going to do it on this guitar. We're going to change out the strings. I'm rocking 10s on there right now. We're going to change them out to 11 through 56s, and so that's going to put some higher tension on our bridge and really bring it forward, and it's going to mess with our tuning, and so I'm going to show everybody. Hopefully it'll help some people out there. Who doesn't want to be able to do these things?
Try to do that with your fixed bridge or string through body.
Let's get into it. All right, so I'm not going to bore you guys with the entire restring of the whole guitar. I'm just going to show you my process for the last few strings here. So I'm already on the second to the last string, so I'm just going to do the last two strings so you guys can see my process. Break angle right on here. I don't want to tighten it with it just shooting straight up out of there, so I just bend it over. So I like to use just a stack of picks because who doesn't have a bunch of picks sitting around? And then depending on the thickness of picks you're using, you can adjust it exactly how you want. And then I just wedge it in here against the block and the body of the guitar, the distance that I want. And I've done this for every string. So you go string by string. Take one string off, put a block in there, put the new string on, tune it up. Then, so I'll show you right now the process. So I got this wedged just in here so that my bridge is floating nice and perfectly about where I want it. Now, I will hook up my tuner. And I'll tune this string up. Okay. And then we'll go back through every string and make sure that every string is where we want it. And I'm pre-stretching the strings too, so you see me doing that. I pre-stretch as I go as well. And you always want to tune up to pitch, never tune down. So as you see, I'll drop it below pitch if it's too high, pre-stretch it, and then I tune it back up to pitch. Okay. Okay, so we're in the ballpark on every single one. Real close, out of 10 cents or so. So now, make sure our nut is loose again. And now we'll do our final string. We will detune it. Till it's loose enough that when we loosen our saddle, it's not going to come shooting out of there and take an eye out. And now you can take your block out or your picks out now in order to get your wrench in there without scraping up the finish on your guitar, because sometimes they're down just enough to where, unless you have an Allen wrench with a ball on the end of it, that's really nice, but you don't really want to torque on that ball because sometimes it can snap off. So now we can take our block out of there. And we can move the bar now without the block in there, drop the bar. So now we can get our wrench in here to undo this without scratching the finish of the guitar here. Do that. Get our string out. And now we can just unwind it off the tuning peg. I just throw them on the floor, clean them up when I'm done. And we'll get our last string here. Hello. Now I'm going to tune it up, so I will wedge my block in here again to position my bridge exactly where I want it. Now this is all going to come together in the end. You'll see exactly why I'm doing this process. It's a slow process, mostly because I'm switching over to a heavier gauge of strings now. Now, last string, we're going to tune this one up. So now, they're all tuned up to pitch. We have our fine tuners set in their middle position in case we need to back them off or tighten them down. Now we're going to take our block out. And now our bridge is going to pull forward because of the tension, the different tension, the higher tension that's under now. See what's it at? Oh, now we're at A. So now what we do, this is the secret right here. This is where it all comes together. This is what a lot of people don't understand. Now what we're going to do is we know they were all in tune with our bridge set up exactly where we want it. Perfect float. So now what we're going to do is we're going to keep it hooked up to the tuner. We're going to watch the tuner and we're going to strum our strings, and we are going to tighten the claw. Right here, we're going to tighten these two screws on the claw, and this will bring the bridge back. This will bring our block back on our bridge, and as we tighten those, it will bring the bridge back to perfect float where we want. And what we're going to do is we're going to tighten it and watch our tuner. We're going to tighten them until the strings are back in tune, and that will give us our perfect float. If you run out of threads on your screws and you can't go far enough. Well, that's because you need to add another string or stronger string, another spring, excuse me, or stronger springs. So see our tuner moving? Now we're at B. I'm just going to keep going until we're back at C. There it is. Here it comes. See, I don't even care about watching my bridge right now because I already know that when I'm back at C, my bridge is going to be perfect where I had it blocked. That's why I blocked it in the position I wanted it at and tuned it up to pitch at that position. So now, see, here we are back at C. Let's go through all our strings. A little sharp, a little flat. So now we can get a little bit more in our ballpark here. Okay. All right. So now, I'm going to tighten down the nut now and fine tune it, and we're done. These are brand new strings. They are going to stretch as we play it. And that's another thing, is as your strings break in and stretch continually, you will eventually max out all your fine tuners until you feel like loosening the nut and retightening or retuning everything down back up to pitch because the strings have stretched so much. You don't need to do any of that. Take the cover off and tighten these screws some more until that brings it back up to pitch, and it will bring them all back up to pitch and then fine tune them accordingly.
Pulling another string to make the flat.